I'd like to invite Jean-Baptiste and Takirutamana from Rwanda to join me.
And I'd like to honor the deceased ones as a promise I made to them when I saw piles of bodies were being put on the roadside. By honoring those who died during the genocide, I would like each of us to honor the losses we had across the globe. I'd be grateful. Thank you. I was born into a divided society for political reasons from the colonial people, but also from the post-independence leaders. And I was born in type of fear of the neighbor. Although my parents taught me how to love, how to be friends with everyone, that fear was there. In 1994, more than 1 million people were killed in Rwanda, and my family was among them. I was in Kigali, but my family was in the countryside. All my brothers were killed. My sister, all their children, but 3. All my grandparents, all my uncles and aunties. Around 60 immediate family members were killed and around 300 within the extended family. I lost my trust in people. I lost direction in life. And I was shaken in my faith in God and people. I hated everybody who was behind the killing. I hated the Hutus who had killed my family, who had killed almost all the Tutsis who were in the country. I hated the international community. I hated everybody who didn't see the Rwandese person as a human person at the same level. But from that hatred, I realized that I was hurting myself. People in Rwanda killed because they were so poor. They were so desperate. They were told that if you kill your neighbor, you can take his house. If you kill your neighbor, you can get her job. And I realized I needed to work on the international development. I devoted myself to work for microfinance for widows, for poor people.
As the years are passing since '94, what's the hardest part for you?
One of them is forgiveness. I went to see the killer of my mom. He's out of prison. We are undergoing a community-based judgment process called Gachacha. But I felt my head was for going to see him to forgive him. But my heart is not yet ready. The other difficult thing is to realize that the structures which are behind human violence are still there. The international community is not changing. I feel helpless in front of so many negative forces.
Where do you get the strength to go on?
The main strength, I got it from my upbringing. My family was a loving one. My mom was so generous, and my dad was so truthful. And I think another thing which makes me going is my hope in people, to see so good people like you who are helping so many other people to regain their humanity. And really, my faith, my Christian faith, is there for much. I believe in a loving God.
The whole world responded to 9/11. When Rwanda happened, the world looked the other way. So it's appropriate that Peaceful Tomorrows invites you as Jean-Baptiste, but you as Rwandese to be here. So I think as part of the human family, we need, all of us, and I do, to feel my own sense of guilt and shame that we look the other way. But thank you for the richness of your humanity. Let's just keep some silence as we honor Jean-Baptiste, his family, those who have died and those who are living. I think everybody in this room are called, all of us, to be wounded healers. Recognizing our own woundedness, playing a role in the healing of the human family.
We've been sharing stories both in order to get to know one another but also in order to sharpen our thinking about ways in which the network that we hope to be born out of this time we spend together can be the most effective voice for justice and for peace.
As they began to envision how a network of survivors could address the challenges of genocide, war, and political violence, the delegates met in small groups.
You have to give the people an alternative, by the way, if you are rejecting violence.
They discussed and debated the network's mission and the values all their organizations shared.
We are committed to justice for all people, but we reject violence as a path to justice.
But what would the network partners work on together? Guest speaker David Hartsoe from the Nonviolent Peace Force offered one vision: nonviolent peacekeeping.
Most often when there's violence or conflict, governments say, well, the response is to do nothing and look the other way, or go in and start bombing people. And we knew that there was a third alternative, and that was nonviolent peacemaking. And our belief is that in most areas of conflict, there are local peacemakers that both understand the causes of the conflict and possible solutions. But very often, they get killed or disappeared, by extremists on one side or the other, or governments. And we've also discovered that having international people present with these local peacemakers not only gives them moral support, but also helps protect them. We can be like the nonviolent bodyguards. So we can help make peaceful change possible just by being present. And I just wanted to say we are excited, very excited, about the birth of this new network.
But what would the network partners work on together? Brainstorming by the delegates produced many other ideas for projects.
We need to concentrate on peace education. We need to change minds.
I wanted to choose politics as one of the challenges we face. How do we connect politically so that we can take our work to the next level?
The first thing that we came up with was a need to develop a strategy to persuade governments to redirect monies from war-related activities to support human rights needs.
For the swift abolition of nuclear weapons, we need signatures from all over the world. We also can have peaceful demonstrations and the educational programs in each respective country.
What can we do to make the media pay attention?
Soon there was a wall covered with plans for action.